Welcome to an online workshop on the Writing Proficiency Portfolio from University of South Carolina Aiken's Writing Center. This workshop will go over information about the Writing Proficiency Portfolio, what it contains, when to submit it, and how to submit it. So who has to submit a Writing Proficiency Portfolio? The truth is no one has to submit one. But as a University of South Carolina Aiken student, you do have the option of submitting a WPP. The WPP is an opportunity for you to prove your writing skills to the university. If a student submits and passes the WPP with a 3.0 or better, then they do not need to take English 201, Writing in the University. Passing English 201 or the WPP is a requirement for graduation at University of South Carolina Aiken. So if you're a Palmetto College student, you have the same two options as every other student at the University of South Carolina Aiken. You may either submit and pass the WPP online through Blackboard, or you may take an online English 201 Writing in the University course. Both of these options will satisfy the graduation requirement. The WPP is a collection of 3 course-related examples of your strongest writing with a reflective cover essay. The main essays in the WPP are not new pieces of writing. They come from courses you've taken at the University of South Carolina Aiken or elsewhere. Essays written at other universities are acceptable. Many transfer students include those. The only new writing required for the Writing Proficiency Portfolio is the reflective cover essay. It is an on average 1 to 3 page essay that provides information about the work you've included and why you've included it. It may also comment upon the kinds of writing you've done at the college level. Essay may seem short, but it's actually very important. It lets the graders know what it is we're evaluating. Your work must be submitted through the Writing Proficiency Blackboard page for WPP submission. There is currently no charge for submitting your WPP online, but only Palmetto College and RN to BS students may submit the WPP online. All other students must submit it through a paper copy using a Writing Proficiency Portfolio kit available in the bookstore. There is a charge for paper copy submissions. So what kinds of papers are required for the WPP? All papers must be course-related, but again, they don't have to have been completed at the University of South Carolina Aiken. They may have been completed for courses taken elsewhere. At least one paper must have a research component. The paper can be in any citation style. However, we do recommend that if you have more than one paper with a research component, you consider including 2 research papers. Only one paper can come from an introductory composition class. At University of South Carolina Aiken, introductory composition classes are English 101 and English 102. At other schools, it would be the equivalent of those courses. So a course like Introductory Writing, College Writing, Composition and Rhetoric would be the equivalent of English 101, and English 102 would be the equivalent of an Introductory to Literature and Composition course. If you'd like to see more tips for choosing papers, please see our website. As you consider which papers to select for the WPP, we suggest selecting what you feel is your strongest work. Although only one research paper is required, again, we suggest submitting more than one research paper. We suggest that the research papers you choose are documented correctly according to a specific citation style. Oftentimes, papers written for writing-intensive courses are good choices. There are some papers you should not choose. Do not choose papers or essays that are collaborative. If we're evaluating your work and your writing ability, it's often difficult for us to determine what you've actually written if a paper is collaborative. Do not choose papers or essays in a language other than English. Although we're impressed by those of our students who can speak and write in other languages, this is an evaluation of your written English. So please choose papers that are written in English. Don't choose papers or essays that follow a strict business template. Resumes, press releases, budget analyses, these things have very strict formatting and action, so they're not very good examples for us to determine your writing skill. Do not submit lecture notes, informal journal entries, annotated bibliographies, or computer programs. It is best to include more formal written assignments. Try not to submit more than one paper from the same course. It isn't against the rules, but it isn't recommended. We'd like to see you writing in a variety of courses and styles if possible. Some people ask if there's an alternative to the WPP. Yeah, English 201. English 201 is a course that builds on the skills that you have in writing across the curriculum. Remember, you're not required to submit a WPP, but you are required to pass English 201 with a C or better. The WPP is not required, but it is an option. If you pass the WPP, then you satisfy the requirement for English 201. If you're having difficulty deciding on the WPP or 201, please see our webpage. Ideally, students submit the portfolio during their junior year once they have a minimum of 60 credit hours. Please do not wait until your final semester. The WPP needs to be submitted and graded before you submit your graduation application. If you wait until your last semester and for some reason you do not pass the WPP, then you are required to take English 201, which could delay your graduation. The deadlines for the Writing Proficiency Portfolio happen several times throughout the year. WPPs may be submitted at any time before the following deadlines. For summer consideration, the first Wednesday in June. For fall consideration, the first Wednesday after our Labor Day holiday. For spring submission, the last Wednesday in January. If you are a Palmetto College or RN to BSN student, then you may submit the WPP online through Blackboard. Step 1 is finding the USCA-WPP course and enrolling. Log on to Blackboard. In the top right corner, select the tab that says Courses. In the Course Search tool, type Writing Proficiency and click on the Go button. Under the course ID, you will see USCA-WPP. Click on the drop-down arrow and select Enroll. Select Submit. Once you're enrolled, you will see the course listed under the My Courses box on your home page. Here's our Courses button. In the Course Search tool that pops up, type in Writing Proficiency and click Go. Under the course ID, you will see USCA-WPP. If you click on the drop-down arrow, you can select Enroll. Step 2 is opening the course you've just enrolled in and uploading your WPP submission. Open the course and select the folder titled Writing Proficiency Portfolio Submission. Once you click on this folder, you'll be able to upload your 3 papers and your reflective cover essay. Step 3 is to wait. Waiting is the hardest part. Once the evaluation process begins, you'll receive an emailed response to your submission in 6 to 8 weeks. Evaluation processes don't begin until the deadlines. It is a long time to wait, but your portfolio has to go through 2 readings from trained faculty members, so please be patient. If you have questions or concerns, please contact Dr. Matt Miller, our Writing Assessment Director at the University of South Carolina, Aiken. Every WPP is independently evaluated using a set rubric by 2 faculty graders. The graders score the WPP in 7 categories using a 1 to 5 scale, 5 being the best. Scores from both readers are averaged together to determine the overall score. An overall of at least 3 points is required to pass the WPP. These are our grading categories. To see a copy of the rubric used to rate the WPP, you can look on our website under Writing Center. Each of these categories is evaluated on a 1 to 5 scale, with 5 being the best. If you pass the WPP, hooray! You and your advisor get a letter stating that you've met the English 201 WPP graduation requirement. What happens if you don't pass the WPP? Well, it's not the end of the world. Students who score a 3.0 have passed the WPP. Students who score below the 2.39 benchmark are required to enroll in and pass English 201 with a C or better. But if your score is only slightly below the 3.0 benchmark, between 2.39 and 2.99, then you have an opportunity to revise and resubmit your WPP for reconsideration, but only after speaking with the Writing Assessment Director, Dr. Miller. Students who do not pass the resubmission with the 3.0 must take English 201 and pass with a C or better. You'll find out that you passed between 6 and 8 weeks after the submission deadline. You'll get an email notifying you of your grade on the portfolio. So the reflective cover essay is actually a very important part of the portfolio. It's the newest piece of writing that you'll be submitting, and it provides the context for your work. It also lets the graders know what was expected or required for the writing you're submitting. That way we can judge your submission against that assignment's requirements. It also sets the tone for your WPP. The reflective cover essay needs to be at least 3 paragraphs. However, we suggest about 5. You need to have at least an intro and a conclusion, but ideally you would have an introduction, a conclusion, and body paragraphs that speak about each of the 3 submissions. Organizing the reflective cover essay is actually easy. You start with an introduction. Introduce what year you're in, your class standing, your major. Let us know if you're a transfer student. Give us the titles of the papers included, and let us know what courses they're from. In a 5-paragraph essay format, each of the body paragraphs would work the same way. You'd provide the title of the essay you're submitting, the professor, course name, and semester, a summary of the assignment, any oddities, documentation style, and answer the question, why did you choose this paper? Repeat that for each of the essays that you've included. For your conclusion, wrap everything up. Mention your progress as a writer and any improvement you feel you've made in writing over your years at University of South Carolina Aiken or elsewhere. Mention where and how your writing will be important to your career and life. One question we often get is whether or not a writer can use I in the reflective cover essay. Absolutely. This essay is about you and your writing. Feel free to use first-person pronoun statements. If there are other papers in the WPP that allow for first-person pronoun use, tell the readers in the body paragraphs. That may be one of those oddities. Likewise, if you use the singular they in your papers, please mention that in the body paragraphs too. There are some ways you can improve your chances for a passing grade on the WPP. The first is to revise. Go back over your papers. Make changes. Improve your writing. If you want help with revision, contact the Writing Center and we'll set up an online Writing Proficiency Portfolio consultation. Work on the reflective cover essay. It really does set the tone and provide the context for your writing. Get some help with that reflective cover essay from the Writing Center through the online portfolio consultations. Double check your citations, particularly your in-text citations. Often students neglect revising these. Read your paper out loud to look and listen for errors. It's often the easiest way for us to find typos and small errors. Your submission does not need to be formatted in any particular way. We would prefer that you upload the reflective cover essay and your 3 papers in a single Word file. Oftentimes, students will upload the reflective cover essay separate from the rest of the submission papers. Make sure that your name is on the submission and in the file names. If you need to upload more than one Word document, label your submissions clearly with your name and a descriptive title. And if you run into any issues, please contact Dr. Matt Miller. If you'd like to set up an online Writing Center consultation, email us at thewritingroom@usca.edu or call us at 803-641-3262. Let us know that you're a Palmetto College student who would like help with the WPP. We can also help you with different writing projects. Let us know what days or times you're available. Although the Writing Center is only open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 9 p.m. to 2 p.m. on Friday, we are available on evenings and weekends for our Palmetto College students. If you set up evening or weekend appointments, please keep your time. Our trained consultants are students at the University of South Carolina Aiken and have their own schoolwork to attend to. If you can't keep an appointment, please let us know as soon as possible. In order to have a successful online consultation with the Writing Center, you do need access to Blackboard. We'll send you emailed instructions on how to connect to your consultation session and how to upload your work. You'll need a computer with a microphone and stable internet connection. If you do not have a microphone, you may use your phone for audio. You'll be given a phone number that will allow you to call into the session. Remember, the WPP is your chance to prove your skill at academic writing. The WPP is an option, not a requirement. The WPP has strict deadlines. It requires a reflective cover essay. It must contain 3 course-based papers. At least one of those papers must be research-based. It may only contain 1 paper from English 101 and 102. It should be submitted before your last semester, preferably during your junior year. And the WPP is free to submit online for Palmetto College and RN to BSN students. If you're working on the WPP, we're here to help.